Hey, this is Crypto Radio one more time. If you want to know more and much more about crypto, so stocks, tune with Crypto Radio, pressing the bell button, pressing the subscriber button. Today we're going to see what is an HYIP, and then we're going to make a comparison between one HYIP and a scam, and finally we're going to try to determine, based on a mathematical equation, it's just an estimation, how long one HYIP can last. But firstly, I got to say that nothing I want to say is an investment advice. You got to make your own decision, and always remember that one HYP is always a very, very risk investment. All right. Having said that, one HYP stands for High Yield Investment Program. For I know that most of you know this already, but for those who doesn't, basically is a program where you give them your money, fiat or crypto. In case of crypto, usually Bitcoin, and lately you can also use Ethereum. Basically, they pay you interest on the investment that you have done. All right. This daily interest is somewhere in the region between 1% to 10% daily, which including compounding. Compounding, if you are reinvesting the interest that they are already paying you, turn out to be gigantic figures over time, so big that they are mathematically proven to be unsustainable. All right, and then they give you a little example. They say if you invested $1 with a daily interest rate of 5%, if you compound it, it will result, it will turn out to be $45 million after 365 days. So big. Then going to make a comparison between one HYIP versus a scam. All right, one HYP is actually paying interest. I have some subscribers telling me that if Bitconnect is paying interest. The problem is not to determine whether Bitconnect is paying interest or not, because they are already paying interest. And here it says, but it's based on a sustainable model. And here is what we need to figure out, right? It says every HYIP turns into a scan after its breaking point. This is what we need to figure out, which is the breaking point of any HYIP, all right? Because meanwhile, you can be making money, paying interest. On the contrary, a scan never pays you anything, all right? So the idea is that one HYIP is paying interest during a period of time. So if you want to figure out the main difference between a business and one HYIP, a regular business like Apple, Facebook, whatever, Facebook, Apple, they don't have a defined duration, while one HYIP, it has a defined duration, right? But until then, it's paying your interest that they promise you, right? So we need to figure out which is the breaking point, all right? In order to figure out which is the breaking point, we're going to use a theory that is called the double cycle calculation theory. And based on that, we're going to try to determine how long any one HYIP can last. All right. In order to make this calculation, they say that when calculating a discounted a double cycle, all right, they take some things into account. First of all, it doesn't matter how much you invested. If you invested $1,000, $1,000, $1 million, it doesn't really matter. All right. The idea is to make a calculation, and the money that you started with, it doesn't matter, because then they will be paying you 1% over 1 million, or they will be paying you 1% over $10,000, $1,000. If it is less, they will pay you less. If it is more, they will pay you more. But you have deposit more or you have deposit less. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is that when they make this calculation, they make it in a very, very, very conservative way. All right. So this is going to be like the minimum time span that the HYIP will last, all right? Because they are taking like very, very exaggerated number. For instance, the second assumption, they say that, for instance, in the case of example, when it comes to the interest rate, which interest rate they assume they are taking to make this calculation. In case of Exabot, they are paying between 2% daily or 22% weekly. So they say, okay, we take the bigger one, right? So they take 22% weekly, of course, since this results in faster growth for your money, and it will make shorter the time span of the platform. Uh, in third place, they say they don't assume compounding, because compounding will require you to put your profits back, all right, into the system. So you are actually extending the time span of the platform. If you are investing the money that they are paying you, you are giving them back the money that they are paying you. So you are extending the lifespan of the HYIP. So they assume that you are not compounding, which will make shorter the time span of the HYIP. But at the same time, they are assuming that you are reinvesting it, and the interest that they will pay you the next day will be the interest over the interest and your capital, both of them. All right. So those are the assumptions. As you can see, if you assume all of these things, the number that they are going to get is very, very, very conservative. All right, here is very important. I want you to remember this. They say The experience shows that a significant number of the HYIP start collapsing sometime after the 8th and the 12th cycle. Alright, 8th and 12th cycle. I want you to remember this thing because now we are going to the main secret of this video, right? Here it is, HYIP top list. Basically, they have made a list which it has the main HYIP that they are currently paying, and obviously among them you can find our big friend Bitconnect. They say that the double cycle lasts 106 days and it's been running the days since launch 304 days, so it's been running 304 days. All right, so they are in the current cycle, they are in the number 3, in the third cycle. All right, if you remember, as I told you, one HYIP will last between, it will start to last between the 8th and the 12th cycle. All right, so if we go to the calculator, we can figure it out. Here it is. It's been running, Bitconnect has been running for 304 days, and it is supposed to last, one HYP will collapse between the 8th and the 12th cycle. Its cycle for Bitconnect is 106 days based on the calculations based on the calculations on the assumptions that we have shown before. 106 days. All right, so basically 106 days in one cycle. It says we're going to make the most conservative number. We're going to assume that Bitconnect will collapse in the 8th cycle, in the number 8 cycle. So it will mean that Bitconnect will be running for 848 days, and it has been running for 304 days already. So if we take this number, it will say that it's been running for 544 days. All right, it's a big number. We're going to make it a bit smaller, so we're going to divide it by the number of days in a year. So it's gonna give us the number of years. So Bitconnect will be running for 1 year and a half. It means today we are in 1st of December, so it will mean that Bitconnect will last until May-June 2019. So Bitconnect is still paying interest. I think that there is a big opportunity here. These numbers that they have done could be very, very, very conservative, so it could last more. But you must also remember that this is a very high risk investment, so don't invest money that you don't afford to lose. All right, but staying in the sideways is painful. So don't FOMO, don't fear out missing out. All right, invest a little bit of your money, and if you wish so, below in the description of the video you can find a link. Use it and you need. Peace.